Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. We'll start with Guru Prarthana. Narayana Samarambham Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamaramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So I hope the theoretical part we covered in the last session regarding emotions, how actually emotions are processed in the mind, where they are saved, how do they trigger us, how do we react. Okay. So I want all your cooperation to understand these concepts, because all these are very depth involved concepts. Unless we consciously focus on them, it's difficult for us to understand. I request you all to carry your Bhagavad Gita books, though I show in the PPT. You're saying PPT. Sanskrit. So can you all see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
So from the second chapter, we will be seeing each sloka and we will be seeing how it is connected to us. And one more important thing is, in every chapter, there are slokas, but they have very similar meaning. Okay, so the concept of 4-5 slokas will be very similar, but they have presented in different terms. That is the only. So essence is the same. So second chapter, 13 sloka. Second chapter, 13 sloka. Someone want to read? Anyone of you want to read it?
Yes, ma'am, I want to read it.
Sir, please.
देहिनोऽस्मिन् यदा देहि कौमारं यौवनं जरा तदा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Again, देहिनोऽस्मिन् यदा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तदा देहान्तरप्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, we have seen in the previous class both the things, like, you know, this 12th one, 11th one and 13th one. So what happened in the 11th sloka is, it was said by Krishna. In the 11th sloka, Krishna was saying, like, you know, you are thinking about the unwanted things which actually you are not supposed to think about, and you are not thinking about the things which you are supposed to think. असोच्यानन्वसोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादां च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. So what we all are doing is we think like we are logically very intellectualized. So whenever we have any problem, we start worrying about problem rather than thinking about the solution. Though we focus on the solution, we start thinking about, like, you know, what could be the negative sides of the solution? What are the critical aspects and challenges in the solution? So always human mind goes into the negative shade of it, and we come up with only our logical thinking, the excuses rather than the perfect path to achieve them. As same as Arjuna, when he came up, like, you know, because internally he had a feeling that he don't want to fight with his own people. Because of that main belief and core intention, he came up with any number of excuses. Do I need this kind of war? Do I need property? How about my families? How about all these number of excuses? Actually, what he's supposed to talk about, he is supposed to talk about his duty, but he started talking about the excuses which the best he can make. Don't you think we all are similar to Arjuna? Like whenever we have any fear deep hidden inside our heart to do something, to face something, we come with a number of excuses, saying like, you know, do we really need to invest time on this? Do we really need to do this workout? Or any number of excuses. So Krishna is saying we all are using our logical and intellectuality to come up with excuses rather than building on solutions. So how we are supposed to use our intellect is to focus on solutions rather than thinking about the challenges in a problem. Start thinking about possibilities in a problem. Done. So now coming to this third sloka, what Krishna is saying is, see, Dehos means it. Once we have this body, it is a life cycle. In the life cycle, what we will be having? Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara. So we will be having toddler, we will be toddler, teenager, we will be growing into adult, then come to old man, death, and again the cycle repeats. So here Krishna is talking about Atma. When this cycle is rotated, do you think the cycle is only for this human body? It is applicable anything on this planet. Even if at all you take a plant is grown up, okay, it starts flowering, then a fruit, then the seed comes out, again it grows into a plant. So the cycle repeats, right? So when this cycle is repeating, why you need to worry about this birth and death is the question of Krishna to Arjuna. So Arjuna is worried about death of his own relatives. So Krishna is mentoring him here regarding that death is nothing, like, you know, as the life cycle take place. And in our life, what we all are worried about? The emotional instability, whatever you call it is, it could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be any state of mind. Right? That is our worry in our life. So for this, Krishna's answer is what? Don't you think like last time we have seen the emotional life cycle? today at this moment, what is my state of mind? Will it be same even tomorrow after 24 hours? When someone scolded me in childhood, I cried a lot, I screamed a lot. But today, when I recall it, do I have the same emotion? I may laugh at it today and I cried on the other day. So, in emotional life cycle, what happens whenever a problem enters into life, you just start reacting, and the reaction goes very hyper and then automatically comes down. You check any instance in your life. In very, like, to be very straightforward and to talk about facts of life, if in someone's life a very close person has left this world, how many days will they sit and cry? Nowadays, like, they are having the food, coffee, cool drinks on the same day itself. So how long the emotions are being lost? They have a cycle, they definitely get diminished, they definitely get vanished after a certain period of time, because time will not stop at one place, it will be keep moving. As time is keep moving, the activities are going forward, we are moving forward. As we are moving forward in the life, we are leaving the past things past and we are traveling with the new life. So we should not come with an excuse like, don't act self like I am emotional, I am anxious, I am nervous. Maybe only for that particular moment you possess that emotion. After that situation, that emotion will calm down. So what is making us to react is that situation, but not we ourselves. So we should stop worrying about the emotions which are taking place in our life. And cause of these emotions is the problem. It is not a problem, but that situation which we are filtering through our subconscious mind and we are calling it as a problem. Whenever your subconscious says you that it is a problem, automatically your negative emotions will come up. When you start looking things as only situations in your life, you'll just pass through them very easily. So you should not consider things which are happening in your life as problems. Look just them as an event in your life. As you have a happy event, you have a sad event too. It is combination in a life. But what we do, happy event we celebrate, and some event which don't happen according to our will and wish, we call it to be a very bad event in our life and we call it a problem. When we call it a problem, automatically the subconscious mind sends the danger signal to the entire body and we start reacting as if we have gone through such a big trauma in our life. So don't look at things as problems. They are only events which are happening in the life. Just look them as events in the life. And events are common in life. Today one event happened, today your morning, like, we laughed, afternoon something has happened against our wish, evening something has happened again according to our wish. So situations will keep on happening. So reaction is in our hands. What you want to react, how you want to react. So life never stops with one event. Let us suppose we all wish to have 1 crore in our bank account and today we had 1 crore in our bank account. Is that life ends there? The events or situations will stop there? Don't you think some other situation comes in our life? It may be favorable or unfavorable to us. If at all it's favorable to us, we are happy with it. If at all it's unfavorable, we are not happy. But we have to remember one important point. Though it is a favorable or unfavorable, it is not going to stand for a longer period of time. When the situations are not going to stay longer period of time, our emotions also will not stay for longer period of time. Okay, so the situations are keep moving, the emotions also keep moving. So you should not worry about your emotional state, but you should focus at looking things as just as event rather than challenge. or like, a favorable or unfavorable situation. Done? See. Now comes second chapter, 14th sloka. Matra svarsastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkada agama payino nitya stantikshasva bharata. So here what Krishna is saying is, what is making us to react? What is making to react? Sitoshna sukha dukkada. Sitoshna, like heat, cool, sukha dukkada, either happiness or sorrow. What is making us to react to these kind of situations in life? What is making us to differentiate? This is cold, this is hot, this is happy, this is sorrow. What is making us?
Thoughts and feelings.
How these thoughts and feelings are formed?
Because of the past, in the past, we know what is thought, how does it feel, what is the feeling, what is cold, what is hot. We are taught from the
How it
time
got
that children. So that
processed?
is stored in our memory, and now we are able to recall and say whether it is cold or hot or sad or happiness or anger or anxiety.
Very good. So how it got stored?
Through Panchendriyas.
Very good. So what Krishna is saying here is, through your indriyas. Through your indriyas, the data got stored in your mind and it got filtered. Okay. So because of that filtration, you are able to judge like, this is good, this is bad, this is happy, this is sorrow. So now what is the key things that we need to always take control of? Which are processing the data? Which are processing the data is our 5 sense organs. If at all you remember, like, we have those 3 monkeys. Don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't talk bad. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Why did it become so famous quote, like everyone starts using it? Because the 5 indriyas, the 3 main indriyas, like, the eyes which starts processing the visuals, the ears which starts processing the auditory sounds, and next is the tongue that have processed the taste and the tongue. Okay, so when you keep all these 3 things in control, the processing data into your head will be lowered. Whenever the more data is not, unnecessary data is not entering your mind, you will not start thinking about unnecessary stuff in your mind. So what happens? You will, when there is no unnecessary, unfavorable visuals in your mind, your negative emotions will not pop up at all. So even our ancestors always used to say us like, be with good people, talk about good things, do about good things. The reason for that is, instead of saying control your mind, control your feelings, what is the best thing? Is not to process such kind of unwanted stuff. Let me put one example. Think about your favorite food, like which you love a lot. And I'll just serve you with 1 piece of it and I'll say you stop from there. Do you think it is better not to eat and stop yourself, or consuming 1 piece and you can stop yourself? Whenever you just give taste to your indriyas, you just show one visual and you just want to get disconnected from television. You just show one kind of taste to your taste bud and want to get disconnected from that particular taste buds. It is not possible. The carvings of these kind sense organs will increase more and the focus will be completely only on those type. It keep on asking, I want this, I want this, I want this. So always be conscious about your sense organs. It's not only just about you. When you are handling your kids, just take care, like, you show them unnecessary stuff and you ask them be in your control. It is difficult. So processing the data itself should be taken care of. While you're dumping data into your system, then only you take care of. So when we control over this, why we have to control over this? Because all this kind of data just comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Nothing is fact of life. Right? In second chapter, like, Krishna is talking completely about Atma. Atma is like, complete knowledge for us. So when you start watching a TV, you eat some pani puri or you eat some ice cream, all these are very temporary in front of the knowledge. These come and go, but will not sustain for a longer period of time. Today I ate it, tomorrow I may again need it. Today I watched a beautiful scenery, tomorrow again I may need it. So once I satisfy my indriyas, it doesn't mean they are satisfied forever. So what we need to do is, we need to always take care and control of our panchendriyas. Okay. So I guess like within 10 minutes, if at all this ends, kindly join back again. So see, now comes second chapter, 15th sloka. Yam hi na vyadhayantyete purusham purusharkshabha samadhukka sukham dhiram somrutattvaya kalpate. So he's telling Arjuna, who will not get disturbed by their sense organs. So not exactly by the sense organs, but the data processed by them. Who will not get controlled by these data processed by the sense organs, they will attain the moksha. So moksha according to us is a happiness, a blissful, peaceful state. So when we get deviated with unwanted stuff, we will be in a peaceful state or we are in a disturbed state? We will be definitely in a disturbed state. Let me say, you all just give a try of doing meditation for 10 minutes. You sit in one place. You are sitting here, you are closing your eyes. You are sitting in one place, you are closing your eyes, but what is happening to your mind? What is happening to your mind when you are sitting here, closing your eyes and want to focus at one single point? You are having multiple data processing in your mind. You will be hearing sounds from outside and you are worried about what is happening outside. So,
That too, especially when you name it that I want to sit for a meditation, right?
exactly.
The thoughts that will come hours your mind is lot more than when you are normally sitting and doing nothing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I have noticed that. I don't know if it is just with me, but that's how my mindset works.
So it's not just about meditation. You want to do any work peacefully with a calm state. What happens at that particular time? Your mind will be hearing the noises outside. It gets distracted to that side. So where is the peaceful, blissful and happy state? It will not be there. So Krishna is saying a person who is not influenced, these sounds are heard by our ears. Okay.
Ma'am, I also have a thought here, right? It is not just with your mind. I mean, not just when you're wanting to do meditation. I'll give another example, right? The day you want to fast, the day you say, I want to fast today and you're fasting, possibly all dishes that I want to kind of eat, I'll be thinking through the day, oh, I want to eat this. Oh, I want to eat that. I can't believe on a regular day when I'm eating every day, none of those dishes come into my head because that day I am fasting. I would at least have 100 dishes in my list. Oh, I should eat this. Oh, I should eat that. But why such kind of thoughts come into our head or in our minds?
So when you insist your mind to be placed at one state, then all the states you'll start identifying. So always the data is there in the database, but you will not give priority of any of it. But when you want to be at a calm state, when you don't want to get influenced by anything, you're just giving instruction to your mind, don't get influenced, then automatically it gets influenced with multiple things. So that's the reason Krishna says, like, a person who is not influenced by any of his sense organs. So here the sense organs are 5 panchendriyas. Okay, these panchendriyas are divided, like, they call like indriyas total gnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Gnanendriyas, like they process the knowledge, the information. Karmendriyas, they perform the action. Okay, so total there are 10.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that? Sense organs?
Karmendriyas and gnanendriyas.
Karmendriyas.
Yes.
Karmendriya is knowledge, huh?
No. Karma, which makes action. So your karmendriyas are your mouth,
okay,
your hands, your feet,
okay,
genitals, anus.
okay.
Okay, these are your karmendriyas. Karma is action, whichever performs action form. With my mouth, I scold someone. With my hand, I may beat someone. Okay, with my legs, I may kick someone. So, and the genitals, their part, like, okay, and anus, like, excretion part. So now comes the gnanendriyas. Gnanendriyas are your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and your skin. So
what do? They
process the information.
Is
So,
that information or is that action? It processes the action.
Information. With your eyes, you see something and visuals are going and getting stored in your mind. With your ears, you are hearing something. So the auditory sounds are going and getting stored in your mind. With your tongue, taste. With your nose, smell. With your skin, that touch. So all this is information is processed and going and stored in your database.
Okay.
Basing on this information and the process happening, the karmendriyas start acting. So fundamentally, we have to remember always the basic fundamental fact is that we are either living in memory or in imagination. Whatever is triggering our emotion, it's either our memory or imagination, but not the present moment. So we have to live in the present so that we'll not get impacted by the visuals which are running in the mind, the sounds which are hearing from our memory or through our imagination. Okay, then you will be in a happy state.
So either we are living under memory or imagination, but we got to live in the
present moment.
Imagination is not present.
Imagination is not present. You're thinking something may happen in future. So you're imagining everything in your mind.
It can happen in present also, right?
Nothing is happening in front of you. Now we both are talking to each other. I start assuming tomorrow we will be having a conference in Hyderabad, taking some hotel or something. It's in my mind, it's in my imagination. But at this point of time, nothing is happening materialistically.